Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have with us Milo Ibata, and we're going to be discussing the difference between building a resume and building a legacy. So hi Milo, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Woke up a bit early. I think you too. You did that. It's this type of sacrifice that create momentum and uh, make us realize what we are doing. You know, it's the passion of the work and the commitment to be dedicated to our work.
True, true, true. So yeah, this topic, building a resume versus building a legacy. And really, I asked Milo to discuss this because where we are right now at this point in time, I think folks are really, with it started with a great resignation, people working from home, transitioning to new jobs, whether for increased pay or being closer to home, being able to work from home, flexibility with family. But then, I just wanted to know, like, as we go through this and work or business being such an integral part of what we do, whether, building a resume, accumulating certificates and job positions and titles and moving up a ladder, corporate ladder, is that should that be the main goal? And what is building a legacy? When people talk about creating generational wealth and things like that, is a legacy only wealth? Is a legacy only property that you pass down to the next generation? Or is a legacy what you do for society, what you do for your family, what you do for others, how people remember your name? Like, so wanted to have a discussion around that. So any thoughts, Milo?
First of all, I have to say that I cannot talk for everybody. Of
Mm,
course, I'm in a lane where it's very exotic, being an entrepreneur.
mhm,
My thoughts process might not be the same as everyone, and I might not perceive things as everyone. So, what I'm going to speak of will be, something that is um, correlating to my position of an entrepreneur. So,
mm,
uh, first of all, we have to define, like you said, what is a legacy and
mm,
what is a resume. You know, as human beings, we are walking symbols because we give meanings to things, meaning that I can make that pain my God. If I truly think I can make and try to act that as this pain is my God. So, to try to explain this concept, just think about my words right now. You know, they are just noise. They aren't different from an animal. Actually, it's our mind, our subjective mind that can interpret it and give meanings to this noise.
mm,
If I was talking like blah, 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 it wouldn't make sense of it because we didn't agree to the meaning of this noise. But when I speak English, we agree to the meanings of certain noise.
mhm,
So as human, we give meanings to things and we give meanings to the work we do, you know,
mhm,
because we are gregarious animals, we like to be validated by other people.
mhm,
So the legacy is a validation, a recognition by the world that your work might be a long-lasting work
mhm,
to me. A resume is how you portray yourself to enter the workforce. You know,
mhm,
you try to give in a glimpse your talents, your skills, so it favors your acceptation in certain position.
okay, okay. So a resume is more short term and a legacy is more long term, you would say.
I won't say that because the two are dependent on other people. We tend to believe that legacy is long lasting, but I don't think so.
Mm,
We do not even remember the name of the first millionaire in the world.
mm,
We do not remember like the name of aristocratic family that lasted long for even 20 generations before 1800. We don't. So we have to accept that with time, things are forgotten. Everything goes to oblivion. So as an actor of your own story, I think it won't be the great strategy to try to build a legacy, you know, because you are living in the present moment. You cannot always think about the future, always think about the past. You have to be focused on your little step. As an analogy, like climbing a mountain. I never climbed a mountain, but I've run, races and endurance races. And you don't focus on when you want to do it without feeling the pain, the heaviness, and self-doubt. You focus just on the next 5 meters or the next, two. In French we say allonger, the next 2 steps, for example. When you run. So that's it for me, because it's people who are going to judge if what you did was a legacy or not. So this has to do with how do you consider that what you did is successful for you. How do you judge success? Because legacy is just about success. And the resume, you can come to a point where people make the resume for you, by your reputation. There's many ways. There's not just one way to show your work, because a resume is just a way to show your work. I got this degree, I got that thing, I got that thing. Me, for example, I always struggle because on the resume part, because how can I define who I am? In a simple sentence, I just show what I do. I show what I do to convey to people what can be my skills. But that goes even deeper to the definition of what skills are. Because people like to say, for example, leadership is a skill. Leadership is not a skill. Leadership is a trait of character. A skill, for example, is how well do I build a computer? Leadership is not really teachable. You can mimic it, you can assimilate it, but you cannot learn it by tricks or technique. Oh, when this person is this, I'm going to speak louder. No. Leadership is people that want to follow you, maybe because of your energy or whatever. It's a trait of character. And people sometimes mistake the skill for the trait of character. They call intelligence. Intelligence is a skills or whatever. No. Intelligence is a project of maybe curiosity and a different an artistic mind or analytical mind. That gives intelligence, because when you're curious, you're going to look for new things, and when you look for new things, it's going to influence your thought process. This is how I view things, because we live in a world of effects, not of the world of cause. We cannot know why is the sky blue instead of green. We can know how the sky formed, how the sky become blue, but we cannot know why. We just can deal with effects in this world. And instead of focusing on our nature as creature of effect, we try to play with the cause. Intelligence is an effect of things that we can try to pinpoint, but we won't pinpoint them all. We could just have this effect. This guy is intelligent, or this guy is courageous, but we cannot pinpoint the cause. So we have to be humble with ourselves and accept our situation as creature of effects and try to work, like I say, I'm not a fish. I'm not going to try. I won't try to swim a race with a fish on the sea. I will lose. I will put him on my territory. I will fight him on my term. Come race with me on earth. You're going to lose. So people try to play the wrong game, and they mistake who they are for something else. And that's actually what the resume is, because people who come and talk about legacy oh, I have a legacy. It's true. Maybe they did something awesome and their granddaughters are benefiting of it. But this is vain. It's vain. You know, if we brush up with the time, it will disappear. So instead, to me, you have to focus about the now, about your work, about be great now, not tomorrow, not yesterday. By being great now and focus onward, on you, you negate the effect of trying to convince others, to be validated by others. Because when you do get validated by others, you start to decide on things that aren't by a process that aren't really rational with yours.
So yeah, so what I'm hearing, I think we should give some context because both you and I we are not corporate darlings, right? We would say we are not the people, the corporate people that worked up the ladder, that got the bonuses at the end of the year. I think the corporate world as an employee is very foreign to us. We are more, you and I are more innovator, entrepreneur, independent, contractor, business owner, whatever. So we are a little bit different. So if anybody has any comments, please share, please share in the comments down below. But so for me, I can say, I am not a corporate darling. I don't know how to play that game, but I do know that people, people in my own life who have tailored their career very well, and they get the awards, they get the promotions, and in order to move up that ladder. And so they do play a game. I would say a majority of people do play that game like every day and play it really well. I would agree though that resume and legacy both have time limits. So resume, yeah, definitely dynamic. You're really tailoring this summary of your skills and qualifications and experience to a certain position, right? So it can change all the time. You might send out 10 different resumes in one day. A legacy, yeah, I guess people don't think about building a legacy in the beginning. But say, if I had to think of someone, I would think about Bill Cosby. I know he's a very controversial character, but Bill Cosby and his contribution to the arts, film and the arts, and how he impacted the lives of so many young Black actors coming up. I would say, in a way, that's part of his legacy, but then his legacy became tarnished in the end, with a lot of court cases and so on. So it's almost like there can be a time limit. We could think about Michael Jackson. I know I bring him up a lot because, he's a worldwide icon, or was a
Rightfully
world.
so.
Yeah. And so he had a legacy. You could look at his work. You can look back at the body of his work, his talents, his gifts, and how he influenced so many other artists as well. But there is a little bit of taint in his legacy, so it's almost like, yeah, you can have a legacy, but it can be tarnished. So it can almost be, I don't know, go from gold to brass or something like that. But yes, it's I would say the majority of people, in terms of resume and being validated by people, they do it really well. And I think why I want to have this discussion is because sometimes we do get caught up in that, do I have these qualifications? Do I have this certification? Who am I? As you said, this external validation. But you have to admit, in the corporate setting, if you're working as an employee, the external validation from others means they see fit that I am paid at a certain level, or I am given this certain level of responsibility. It makes difference between me working in a cubicle, or me having a job where they give me a company car and a private jet. You know what I mean? So it's like you're playing a game. You're playing a game all the way through. All that, you're being externally validated on an ongoing basis. Even CEOs are being evaluated on an ongoing basis by their board, by shareholders in the company, and so on. So I'm not even sure we can get away from that. But I would say how how to navigate that in these times is if we had to shift towards thinking of a legacy, is a legacy only financial or property, or is it your own name, what you did for others and so on? What would you say?
First of all, if I take your point of view, and for people that work in the corporate job, the resume is simple. It's how you make people feel. It's about people,
Mm-hmm.
People like they climb the stair of the corporate job not based on their skill or even their result, but their relationship, social dynamic, generally with their superiors.
Yeah.
If your superior believe in you and like feel that you are close to them, they of course they would prefer to put somebody they trust in a responsibility position, in a authoritative position than somebody they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You would rather choose to have a driver for your kids that you know than a driver for your kids that you don't know, if given the choice.
Mm.
So that's the same thing. The real resume, because I will assume that you already are in the corporate. You're not trying to get in. You're already in, but in the lower echelon. It's how you relate with other people. It's how you build a connection. And also, you cannot build a connection with everyone. You have to look for the guy who got the power, the guy who take the decision, get close to him, and, empathize with him. Find what he likes, what he doesn't like. That's your resume,
So
whether we
that's
like it or
okay.
not. What?
So is that okay? That is okay if you're people pleasing in the corporate setting?
It's not about being people pleasing. You can still be you,
Mm,
but building a relationship.
mm,
It's a gift, or call it a skill if you want. It's
mm-hmm,
not people pleasing, because that person is going to trust you, maybe be your confidant, and
mm,
it's just a way you will maybe express your criticism in another form. You know,
mm,
people, for example, like to talk behind the back. You will say, "Oh, John, whatever, John Doe, you are a great patron, a great boss, but right here, I think that this, that,
mm,
I don't know, I'm not in the context, but the fact is, people choose other people based on nepotism.
mhm,
Even me, on certain position, we have a developer that we work with, if the choice is to be made, I already know him. He might not be
mm,
great, but I would rather prefer a devil that I know than an angel that I don't know.
mm,
So it's about it. Now, legacy, wealth, I think it's a brand. If people
mm,
believe that you have a legacy, you have a legacy,
mm,
but I cannot really judge a legacy. Why? Let's imagine that you are uh, building, let's say, you are creating a song.
mhm,
People will generally create a song, not me. They think about all the people that are going to listen to that song. You
mm.
know, they think in terms, oh, I really want to do that song for. Just excuse me a minute. So what I was saying is, people who write song, they think about other people when they are writing their songs,
Mm,
how it's going to impact the majority. But when I listen to a song, I listen to a song for me. I don't give a fuck about 2, 3, 4 guys that are, for example, listening to Michael Jackson. If I meet them and they like Michael Jackson, great. But when I'm looking, let's say it's solipsistic. It's about me. It's not about other people. So when you get that, just like legacy, when you get that legacy. When you write that song just for you, or for the goal that you had in mind when writing that song, not for all the different people.
Well,
And
I think, yeah, go ahead.
And the people who are going to get exposed to your work are going to decide. The more people are going to be inspired by your work, people can call it legacy.
I think it's a little bit different for artists, because artists, singers, rappers, musicians, painters, dancers, you want to be your authentic self. You want to, it starts from within, coming out, for people to experience and engage. But with a business, you're providing a service or a product, and usually that's targeted around, that old adage. I don't know if I agree, but customer is always right. I would say employees are always right, but customers are always right in that sense of providing something for others. So it's like a different kind of positioning.
Nobody's always right, first of all. People have more or less probability to be right, depending on their expertise. Building a business is no different than creating a song. It's just that people who build a business, the majority don't create a song, so they cannot grasp the similarity between the two. Building a business is creative.
Yeah.
You are dealing in a realm of incomplete information.
Yes. Building, but not the day-to-day running.
Yeah, but even running, because you're going to face with situations that aren't in the notebook. Look, I usually heard from people that work in the corporate, oh, this guy had all the degrees and all of that, but me, I never had a degree. I was working. He came here, they give him a high post, but actually he doesn't know the job, because everything you learn in school, when you get to the ground, it's not the same. That's the same thing. You can go to a school, they teach you music is this, is that, but actually when you write a song and you perform in front of people, it's different. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, it's creative, because you're going to be, for example, let's say that you are trained to build buildings. You might think, I just have to do that job, but next you will realize that, oh, you have to talk to the neighbors, take into account some statistics that weren't truly related to that job. I call it the oblique, the things that aren't technically in your expertise, but if you get good at it, it makes your work simple. Maybe a baker, somebody that do his bread and all of that, has to be a bit of a logistician, but you have been taught just how to do bakery. But now you realize that, oh, maybe I have to, my logistic, reduce the cost. This is something completely different from your expertise. But by being good at that oblique skills, quote unquote, you will be easily a great baker, even if your bakery is not the best, because you'll be able to produce the right quantity, the right amount in the right amount of time. That's what I'm talking about. So it's not just about the job that you're doing, but everything or what matters that are related to it. When I talk to my sister, for example, I always refer to Pareto laws, the 20%, 80%. There are 20% of things that matter, in every job that you do, whether you are building it or you're running it, and these 20, maybe 15 aren't related directly to that job. For example, a great soccer player is not a great soccer player just because he got the skills. It's because, how do we feed himself? How do we rest? you know. But feeding yourself, it's about being a gourmet, maybe, you know, or a nutritionist. You know, it's not directly related to football because you can play soccer really, really good with eating shit. But actually, even if you're not the great in terms skill-wise or talent-wise, you will have an amazing career if these different skills are matched together. So actually, for example, musculation, running, heavy running is not technically related to soccer, but by being good at it, what you build a margin, you know, a margin advantage that compounds and bring you interest in the field that you want. It's creative because you're going to be met with an unexpected situation. This how do you call them? I don't have the term in mind, but when for example a company buy, so I don't know, something and they are waiting for it to come, you know, there's a situation they have to replace the project. That is creativity, for example, you know, that's creativity. Or your customers is not happy, you know, that's creativity. How can I, that is creativity. So it's not about creativity for me, you know. That's why you said employees are always right, because what, a human can adapt. A piece of paper can't. Your business plan cannot adapt, you know. That's why you said employees are always right, even though it's not truly true. But yes, employees are the element of your business that can adapt. And to go back to the legacy is just how you will feel. How, for example, exposed to the work of Michael Jackson, how would I interpret it? If I'm inspired, the school of Michael Jackson are now goes through me, you know. I might not speak his name, but when people are going to see me, act, dance, sing, they are going to, maybe if they don't remember him, but if they look back, they're going to see, oh, it's the same school. Actually, people come from the same school without knowing it, you know. Some people are from the school of Bruce Lee, even though they don't do martial art, because they have been exposed to their idea. So Bruce Lee has a legacy because he has children in mind, you know,
Well,
cultural children.
that's what I wanted to ask next. Can a
The true
legacy
legacy,
can a legacy be a family?
the true
Instead of
legacy,
looking at financial and property, is a legacy people?
yes, it is.
Family?
Yes, it is.
How
Because
so?
because I'm not family by just your family, your blood related, but it's cultural. A legacy is cultural. It's your culture, your self culture, not just the culture of your country, but your culture. How what is the idea that drives you? You know, I can have a brother, but if you do not adhere to the same culture as me, we might be related, blood related, but we won't be the same. You know, that's it. Your culture are going to dictate how you perceive things. So how you react or how you react to it. It's all. Because I can be a trillionaire, quadrillionaire, which I will, if I don't give that culture to my sons or daughters. If they might be my daughter by genes, my biological sons or whatever, but the culture is of excellency or all that stuff is not continuing with them, at least. Maybe somebody else that I'm going to talk to are going to keep that culture. This is a reproduction because there are just three key elements on life. There's conflict, war, business, and reproduction. You can be the great warrior, the great businessman, but if you don't reproduce your idea, you die in a way.
You know? I think it's interesting because you do see that sense of lineage, at least in academia. In academia, you see it really strong because we have that I would say it's probably like an old school setup, old school mentality where you are basically with a mentor. You're a mentor by a mentor, and you're mentoring others. And so like I've had mentors and they've had mentors and so on. And I've mentored others and they've gone on. So you see that reproduction there, you know, people who have been touched by you and who have influenced you. And I saw this really uh, with with a former, he's now passed away, but a friend as well, a friend, family friend, and he was a distinguished professor in physics at a university here. So I learned a lot about academia from him. But his mentor's mentor was actually Einstein, which is interesting. So he always does
See?
a yeah, he always does a when he tells that story, it's quite fascinating. But we see that in academia, that lineage is very much there outside of family, but you are like family. I could tell who was my mentor at this point in time and who influenced my ideas, my thought processes, my own way of doing research. And you know, I hopefully I've mentored others too who have gone on to, you know, get their PhDs or doing research as well. And so that sort of legacy in people is very fascinating. And that's why that the episode, the last episode of People, Passion, Purpose, I should have said that this is episode 4 of People, Passion, Purpose. But episode 3 of People, Passion, Purpose, when I interviewed Mike Sneed, and you know, really passionate about helping young, not just young men, but young women too, you know, with learning how to become entrepreneurs through appliance repair businesses and other businesses too, you know. And he has trained about 1,400 students. I forgot to get the exact timeline, but just that legacy, that reproduction of, you know, Mike Sneed's template of doing business and doing for self and being able to provide for your family comes out so strong. And yeah, it is, I would say, as you said, how a resume is how you make people feel. The legacy is perhaps your effect in people's lives, like over time, generation upon generation upon generation. Yeah, it's a
How you
fascinating way of
inspire
looking at it.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
So the true legacy is about ideas,
Mm,
not you know, wealth, money. It's about
mm-hmm,
ideas.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, you underestimate the fact that your mentor was mentored by Einstein.
Right.
Actually, you might not know how much you are Einstein right now.
Well, and the funny thing is, I know this is an aside. I love physics. I love physics so much, but I'll admit here that as a Black woman, I in academia it's very isolating, and I used to think, what am I going to do with physics? Like it's so out there, but physics came really easy for me. I loved it, but I went more the biological sciences side. But yeah, so it's funny to have that pass through there. But yeah, it was a very very interesting relationship. But the thing is, when people heard that, it impacted people just by them knowing that of him. You know, it's almost like
Yes,
when he, as you say, if you were say the king of this new country, and you come as a representative, like I am the son of the king. You know, people
it's a
like
brand.
it is a brand.
You know, it's a,
Your the doors are open for you. You know, we want to hear from you. We want to learn from you and your way of life, your way of living, and take it and run with it. It's very interesting. Yeah.
it's a brand. So Einstein was also influenced by other people, maybe unknown, but
Yes.
on
Yes.
that lineage of, like, say, creative pedigree or creative tree, you
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, basically is your creative ancestor, Einstein.
Mm-hmm.
So on that
Mm-hmm.
lineage, it happens that certain individual glow very much, so that thoughts or that ideas or complex of ideas, like, make it so that it's recognizable and attributed to them. Just
Mm-hmm.
like it's by studying Plato that you realize that, oh, he has Socrates as a master.
Yes.
But if you don't dig, you dig too much. If you don't do it, you just say Platon, Platon, the Republic, Platon. But when you dig, you dig, you dig. Oh, Socrates. And when you dig after Socrates, you see also his master and all of that. You know, Socrates was a great Western philosopher. You know, that influenced many things in the West.
And
But
they
he
also
wasn't.
learned in Egypt. A lot of
Yes,
them,
yes,
like Pythagoras, actually went to, train in Egypt. Well, then Kemet, I guess. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's very, very fascinating. But so
So
how? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I forgot my thought. Sorry,
I
you
I
can
want I
continue.
wanted to say. So how does this mesh or go together or conflict with this push for creating generational wealth? And even for me with this channel, starting out with a passion for just investing out, I would say outside of yourself, uh, crypto, traditional investing, trying to accumulate income, income generation, and this a lot of talk about generational wealth, generational wealth, generational wealth. And people are buying properties, they're setting up businesses, they're doing like a ton of different things, but is is that a legacy? Does the legacy become then only financial? Or is
So
that even the
first,
wrong question?
because I had a thought in mind, thinking about a resume and legacy. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, first of all, if we talk about wealth, we have to understand what money is. I have a
Mm-hmm.
peculiar way of seeing money.
Mm-hmm.
To me, money is the unit of faith. The way I explain it is when you have money, I give you money. It's just a paper. It's
Mm-hmm.
meaningless. Remember at the beginning when I said that we men or we humans we give meaning and value to things. So I
Mm-hmm.
bring that paper and I wrote a number on it, and you trust in that. You take it, you start paying people, and people start to cut trees, bring stones, iron, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have
Bees.
an airplane. Then
Yes,
you have
sure.
then you have an airplane that can carry people in the sky, but that come from a paper, a meaningless paper. This is faith. You took that money, but you had faith that your dream or what you had in mind was actually real.
Mm-hmm.
Densify what you have
Yeah.
in mind.
Yeah.
This is money. So when you're talking about a financial or legacy, I think that I cannot operate in that perspective about legacy because it's people who are going to judge. You know, Michael Jordan
Sure.
has done his career.
Yes.
It's people that are going to debate whether it's the best, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Bryant, whether it is LeBron James. Do you think
Iverson.
that okay, this guy can come, these guys can come and talk a little bit about it, but actually they don't care. You know,
Sure.
they don't really care. They can a little bit be, oh, I'm the greatest, of course, for them because they played with that mindset. But
But they
actually,
moved on. They moved on.
they are focused on them. They don't
Yeah.
focus on what people are doing or what people are talking about them. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I wanna say. The resume basically it's conventional. You know, it's what people expect from you. You're going in your resume. You're going to write the expected, not the unexpected. You
Yeah.
know,
And
actually
teamwork.
the way I hire people, the resume. I don't want to know what you did. I want to know what you fail at on your resume. I want you to write me what are your failure.
Why
Oh,
is that?
your biggest failure. Because your biggest failure are going to tell me much more than your degree or pedigree. You know, I've in my
Mhm.
life I've seen people without degree doing crazy things, even myself. You know,
Yeah,
I never have
absolutely.
a degree on on designing, but actually, Tontine, I came up with the design.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
never had a degree with maybe doing a pitch, but
Hmm.
actually, I'm a pretty great pitcher, if I say so myself. So, uh, knowing the talent I've seen on through people, you know, somebody that is really talented will have a meaningful failure. You know, you won't just say, "Oh, I failed that exam." It will be deep, and we show its character, the type of failure, and the way that person interpret that failure. It's going to tell me more, because actually you can learn by doing. You know, I rather hire slow and fire fast, but when I hire, I want to hire somebody that can adapt to the unexpected,
Absolutely.
that can learn, you know, instead of somebody that know what he has to do, you know. But it's a mixed match. Of course, I would have to have experts that are great in what they do, but it's a mix between, it has to be a right proportion. But I really want to have people that fail big and add meaningful failure, you know. Tell me, for example, about your biggest failure.
Not here, but yeah, those are in the tough interviews, they always ask that. In the tough interviews,
but me, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what you did, your degree. Do you have a PhD? In your resume, write to me my biggest failure. Or if you, it's even better if you show. Or I went to a scene, everybody was mocking me because I tried to do stand-up comedy and my joke was really, really bad. And you show me the video.
True.
You know, and we laughed about it. We talk about it. Next, I can say, "Oh, you are a computer engineer. What did you do on computing? You know, have you built a game? Show me that game." And depending on how I perceive your failure and you're learning on that failure, I'm going to hire you or not.
I would say for one of my favorite artists, Lauryn Hill. So there's a clip of Lauryn Hill, I think it was at the Apollo Theater when she was really young, and she was being booed, Lauryn Hill being booed. And, you know, Lauryn Hill is like, to me, an icon, you know, singer, rapper, just amazing. But yeah, it's fascinating. So then, who, if we shift towards legacy, so is a legacy only for, you know, and for men, people who identify as men, or do women leave legacies too? Or is a woman's legacy, it's a tough question, tricky question, is a woman's legacy just family, children?
Yes. Not really children, but how can I say this? People, when it comes to gender, they have a mixed match of really impulsive reaction, overreaction, paradi parada. You have to understand your role. You have to understand your identity, and you have to understand your weapons. You know, a jaguar or a leopard or panther do not hunt like a lion. Cat do not hunt like a lion. You know, we are the same. We got one of the same gene, like the X chromosome on the woman, the X chromosome on the man, but you are different because men has the Y chromosome and the woman has two X chromosome. So I think there's a problem with women because, rightfully so, I can say, or not, they believe that people try to diminish them or put them low on society. I'm talking about the women who are intelligent and who can, you know, listen to that message without the ego of, yeah, I'm strong and all that. Look at bees. You know, there's a queen, there's a soldier, and there are the workers. Look at ants, same thing. And usually males are the one who fight, different from bees, because in bees, male are the one who impregnate normally the queen. I don't know if the warriors are also male, but anyway, just I want to say, the warriors are there to conquer, protect, da, 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 da. In hyena, it's a little bit inverted because the female are big and strong, and usually the female are the leaders.
In
but hyena? It comes, yeah, hyenas.
Yeah. And the lionesses hunt too, I think.
Yes, but the male are definitely stronger in the lead. You know?
Yeah, of course.
So I want to say that I don't give a fuck. I don't know if it is going to be demonetized, but anyway, I don't give a fuck.
Yes, help
To
me.
me,
Let's keep it child friendly. Let's keep this child friendly,
okay,
Milo.
the
I don't
child
care.
you
I
are.
don't care. It was a trick question. I don't
No, no, no.
care as well.
The child are going to learn that word anyway. So let's go. Let's continue. Whether you are a dog, whether you are alien, whether you are a fish, you owe to yourself to be great.
Mm,
Now, you owe to yourself to be great, and the easier way to be great is to be great at what you are already predestined or have an easy time to be. Women naturally are extremely nurturing.
mm,
So their legacies are going to feel different than a male
mm,
just by the nature of women. You might be an artist, a female artist, I might be a male artist. If you truly tap in your femininity, your legacy is going to feel nurturing.
mm,
My legacy is going to feel expensive, choo, because like like a strong will. But
mm.
normally a female legacy is going to feel calm like water,
Sure.
nurturing, like nature, you know. So I think that both can have uh, can be can give legacy.
Anyone. It just looks different. Just looks different.
Yeah, look at you. You have mentoring people. You were mentored by the mentor of Einstein, by your mentor was mentored by Einstein.
Informal. That was an informal mentor, not like in an
No,
institution.
no. The great
But
mentor are the mentor who talk to you at the coffee shop, who talk to you outside of the
actually, yeah,
formal.
he was my real mentor. The ones in the institutions were not. Only I
Because
one. That was a positive.
because mentoring is not about giving the tools or techniques. It's about the principles. It's not about
Yeah,
the tools
yeah, it's
and
true,
techniques.
it's true, it's true.
It's about your principle. Like Einstein can break you down a formula, but
Mhm.
when he say to you, you know, when I imagine my theory, I like to put myself in a absurd way towards it. For example, with relativity, I imagine myself sitting on the light, on light ray, like I was sitting on a horse. This is creative.
Mm,
He's giving you, oh, if I got that problem, I can try to imagine myself the problem in a weird way.
mhm.
You got Einstein idea, you know. But the people he's teaching maybe at his school is going to say, okay, now we are going to have delta of t on delta on x. This is the inverse of na,
I
na, na,
don't
na,
even
na.
know where he taught. Did he teach at Harvard? I should check that. Let's check that out.
So I
Hmm.
think I might be wrong, but it's not Nuremberg University. I
No,
might say
he
something
was in the
stupid.
US, I think. He was in the US at one point.
No, it taught also in Germany after the
Yeah.
war, of course, when it became apatride. That's how you speak in French. Apatride without nation. You know,
Yes.
he started to go into the US and all around the world, but he was teaching at Germany. So the
Yeah.
true mentors are the mentors that talk to you about things of life,
It's true.
because whether you want it or not, everything is related to life. What you play many games in life. You play the corporate games or the entrepreneur games, the artistic game, the music, your hobby. All is a game to me, you know.
Hmm.
But it impact life. Just a way for you to learn life.
Last night I caught a little bit of what was it? BET Awards. I couldn't tell if it was live or if it happened already, so I'm not a big like TV person, but I did know I did wait a while because I realized that Puff Daddy, P Diddy, or whoever his name is, he was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, I think. And the first person announcing was Babyface, and I was there looking like, oh, Babyface looks the same way like when I was a teenager. And then
Stem
Kanye
cells.
and then Kanye came out to give a speech, and it was like, I don't know, you guys will have to go and watch it. Kanye was covered in a mask and shades and a heavy jacket, and this is June, and yeah, it looked like he couldn't even breathe through the mask. I think I didn't check, but I'm pretty sure that's probably Balenciaga that he was wearing, representing to pay homage to P. Diddy. But it went for so long. But anyway, just to say that, yeah, it was a lifetime achievement award for Diddy, and you can see that, reflecting on his past and the influence that he's had. But yeah, it's all been around people. And so for me, when I looked at that, it looked like there were men in three different stages, like babyface, probably more advanced stage, like an elder in that area, that field. And Diddy receiving this lifetime achievement award and giving shout out and thanks to everyone. And then it's like Kanye or Ye just in the in the building phase, he's going through a lot, still being creative, growing his family, all these different things. It was really fascinating to look at that, those three men in those different stages, and just to see. Actually, I don't think I processed it very well, but it was just really, really fascinating to me and what it means to look back. And I remember I had to think about Diddy, all these men really successful on TV. People love them, people love their work, obviously very financially successful, financially stable. But then I don't know, is signing people to your record a legacy? If I have 100 artists, 2,000 artists that signed to my record, is that a legacy? I don't know. For some reason, I looked at it and I thought, that's an interesting life. But maybe I'm not sharing well. The words aren't coming out very well, but it
Okay,
just
so I'm
didn't
going
seem
to.
it didn't seem like it meant
You don't
anything.
think that PDD built great artists?
No, is that it?
I mean, because when you say 2000, it could have 100, but you say 2000. That means that the quantity. So it means that the quantity is not relative to the quality. That's what I
True,
think. So
true,
I
true.
interpret that it didn't build great artists. I think that
I don't know.
I don't know enough PDD to talk about it, but he has results.
True, yes, he does. He got a lifetime
So
achievement award. I've seen him like probably all my life, most of my life.
I value winning. You know,
Mm,
it's just maybe it's style that can please or not please other people, but he
mm,
won. And I think that the artist that is signing his label, maybe many wouldn't have the career that they had. But knowing, because I'm not managing my sister I can, like, I'm counseling my sister in her artistic path. You know, her name is Lagras. You can go and check her artistic work.
mhm.
You know, we have been searching all that is related to labels. Labels treat people like slaves. Do
Yes.
do rightfully so.
Mhm,
Because they are
mhm.
business and they want to assure the return on investment.
Yeah,
From their point of view.
yeah.
And PDD is a director of a label,
Mhm.
so of course he's going to do things in his interest.
True.
You have to be really a great artist or somebody different, to be great when you sign to a label, you know,
Mhm.
because we can mock PDD for, yeah, he got a lifetime achievement, but what artist did he bring out?
I
You
never
know,
said that. He had some good artists, I think.
I heard many people say that. I
Oh,
don't like his style, but I respect his result. It's not
true.
easy to to have results. When you think about other labels like Sony, for example, how many artists they got and how many did they bring to the top, you know? That's what I'm saying. So these guys, he has results, but I really don't get attached to trophies,
Mm-hmm.
to birthdays, to party. I don't need them. I don't give a fuck. I
Mm.
don't really need them. I'm
So,
me on my lane and I'm doing what I need to do to achieve what I have here and here.
so
Simple as that.
the focus should not be necessarily on this lifetime achievement award or this Academy Award, this Grammy, this
Let's perceive
Emmy.
things, let's perceive things as we are immortals.
I mean,
Because I
look at Will Smith. I mean, it was a bad night, but that was something you could tell that it was like relief to receive that Academy Award. Will Smith.
yes, but let's perceive things as immortals. We are
Mm.
immortal right now. Trophies are just candies. They don't
Mm.
define you. These quote unquote trophies that convey a sense of legacy or represent legacy are defining moment for them. I'm not at their
Mm-hmm.
place, and they can say, "Well, you never win it." Okay, good, it's fair. But from a
True.
point of view,
True.
it's vanity is meaningless to me. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I do every day, the money that I have. If when I got my billions, my trillions, my quadrillions, the Ferrari that I'm driving, you know, when the air is going, when the wind is going through my hair, you know, this is for me legacy. Legacy is the moment to moment feeling that you have, the joy, quote unquote, the negative joy, I like to call it, because negative to me is not bad. Negative to me is just like a monochromatic way of perceiving traits and characters. Anyway, I'm going to bullshit you with that. So, yeah, it's about it, the joy to joy moment, you know,
Yeah,
because
living in the moment. Living in the moment, appreciating the moment,
yeah,
the
to me,
present.
to me, I've already won that trophy in the training. You know, I've already celebrated in the training. I've celebrated in the orders of my life, in the hardship, in the
Mm-hmm.
blockage. So when I come and you under me a trophy, like good,
You
or you
know,
don't under me a trophy, is good.
it's
You know,
it's what I remember from doing martial arts and when we would have the grading, you know, and you had to be graded on your katas and sparring and all that. Um, it was it's like you knew that you were already at another level. Something within you knew that you had already I don't know what it is, but got into some other level of awareness that you can read people's eyes and know when they're going to move first and so on. But it's almost like you had to be there, you know, and go through these motions. Somebody's testing you, and then they present you with your new belt, you know,
I
signifying that you
think
had moved up. It's
I
but
think
you
each
but within yourself, the what I found, there was joy within yourself that you knew that you had progressed more than getting the belt. It was almost like getting the belt was like it felt like it was a year later. It was really hard for
yes,
me to define right now.
me if I had to do karate or this type of things, I would keep my white belt. I won't
True.
even if I advance. I won't. Why the fuck? I wouldn't even have a belt. Fuck it. I would go with just an underwear. I don't know how you call it in English. You know, just
But
a gymnastic underwear to just do it.
but
You know, Bruce Lee
actually,
never.
yeah, go ahead.
I don't think Bruce Lee really was going. I'm a black belt in this. I'm black belt in that.
That depend right, exactly. And that depends on your teachers. So I would say the teachers I had, the mentors, they were always about first principles. First principles, as you said, white belt. White belt. Can you do first principles with your eyes closed? It wasn't that there was never this push or this, you know, expressing yourself as, I'm a black belt, I'm a third degree black belt, fourth degree black belt, and stuff like that. It was like they were always like, can you do first principles? And it was really, but it really had to do with their teaching style, their mentoring style, and it really carried through because yeah, yeah, which is very unique. I want to
The
say very unique. Yeah.
legacies are just a way to keep the score, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you keep the score in your life. Oh, my life was great, my life was that. But actually think before World War One, many people had great legacies, but after war, maybe think about the Germans
Mm-hmm.
or the Italians, or even we go to World War II, the Japanese, when they lost the war. I think many families were built, sometimes ethically, their legacies have been crumbled, you know.
Well,
That's it.
let's talk about, I know we're if we're close to time now, but if we had taken an example, say Francis Ngannou, you know, who is he is the world champion right now, heavyweight, MMA?
Yeah,
Yeah.
heavyweight, yeah.
So would you say that he has a powerful legacy just from where he came from and what he did? Or does he still have to continue?
Like I, I'm not the right guy to ascribe if people have a legacy or not, because
Mm,
I will now start to perceive things on how other people feel, and I don't care about how people feel. I
mm,
really don't. I'm selfish. I think about me. I think I'm great, and my greatness is going to operate. Now, if you ask me, did the ascendance or the climbing of Francis Ngannou taught me something? I would say yes.
mm,
He taught me gnosis. He made me remind of what gnosis is. The way he is gnosis. Like these guys, he may not realize it, but he's a magician. That's magic, you
mm,
know. Especially when you see his last fight against a French guy named Cyril Gane. When Francis was fighting, it's hard because I see things sometimes, spiritual things. I was seeing the egregore of Francis Ngannou, you know. I
mm,
was seeing the people would like to call it spirit, because he built that. He has already, he's so synchronous with himself, you know.
mm.
He's like, he accepted what he wanted and truly immersed himself in that. Actually, the belt for him, I think, does not mean shit.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the in a small way, the getting the new belt after grading. It's like you already know. So it's like you already know that you reach a certain point.
No, the thing with Francis, he reached that point before. He was
Right,
already
that's what I'm
champion
saying.
when he was
Before.
11 years old.
Yeah. Okay,
When he
okay,
was
okay.
11 years old, he was dreaming about being a champion. He was already a champion. That's
Mm,
gnosis, you know, like reverse engineering. You don't come
mm,
from here, good there, I'm already there. Now, everything that is going is just, you know, I'm just going through a book. I'm just jumping between pages. That's
mm,
actually how high dimensional beings operate.
mm,
That's how they operate. They don't perceive space times as we commonly do. The sequential, they jump,
mm,
they jump, they jump. And when you jump to that and you realize that is real, it's real, then you're walking unfettered in this galaxy or in this universe.
mm.
Nobody can deter you or your will. But that's the true legacy, because you realize that you might be eternal. That's what I said when I was talking to you. Like, let's perceive things like immortals. Okay. For people, they are going to say 10,000 years is a really long time. Let's
Mm.
take one aeon, so billions and billions of years. You are living billions of years in that planet, you know.
This planet with so much craziness or a happy planet?
I don't care, you know. We call it crazy, I call it genius, because
Okay.
the crazy one are usually the genius. So on this billions and billions of years of life, you get under the trophy. You get under another trophy. You get under another trophy.
For
what is going
what?
to mean to you?
Exactly.
Whatever, whatever, and for your work or whatever. But you know that you are immortal.
So why the Will Smith emotions and tears and like, oh my
Will
gosh, I got
Smith
an
is
Academy
not.
Award.
Will
Oh
Smith
my.
is not me. Will Smith is not me.
No,
Will
but
Smith
I'm
perceive.
just saying. Yeah, go ahead.
Will Smith perceive things as he do, and there's a video of Will Smith. He contradicts himself a bit from his reaction to this Academy Awards, because in these videos, I think he was talking about experience of taking psychedelics, and going to a place where he saw everything taken away from him. And after that experience, he realized that, oh, I'm still me. I still got this.
Yes.
But the way he reacted in that Academy Award event, slapping Chris Rock, was not, he didn't get that knowledge maybe assimilated, so it became wisdom. But he said that after that psychedelic experience, people to remember or to remind themselves of that sometimes need psychedelic or catastrophic event. I don't need that, because actually this is the truth. Just perceive life as an immortal. That's it.
It's true. It's true. When people's lives are on the line, the people
If you get angry at something, think, does 10 years from now I will still be angry? If the answer is no, but you will to be angry, now you are gone. Because you're not taking decision on that thing, you're actually controlling the event. Me, for example, if I get angry, I know that 10 years from now I'm not going to get angry, but I'm going to get angry nonetheless, because it's just me.
So for anybody listening, new generations, older generations, elders, what perspective should we take? I know we talked about living in the now, appreciating the present as opposed to projecting outwards, but when we're inundated with, I gotta build wealth, I gotta build generational wealth, look at me, look at my house, look at these things. How do we, from my perspective, I think the greatest satisfaction is when it's coming from within, as opposed to that external validation from all these awards and what people are seeing, what people are writing about you. What perspective could
I think that this universe and in this space-time reality, we can try to approach the problem on two sides of the coin. On one side, we got all the driving emotional force, will, from the positive side, will, motivation, I want to have this, or on the left hand side, envy, gluttony, yes, this lust. That is one side of the piece. On the other side is about already here. It's already here. On the other side is about it's already here effect. So there's no will. Will just becomes a process, and it's just about being accomplished, beatitude. I don't know how to say it in plenitude or quenchness. And
what's that last
just
word again?
Quenchness.
Conscience?
Quenchness. Quench. Quench.
Okay.
Quenchness. Maybe it's a word that I invented to try to portray what you feel when you're truly satisfied.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying, like just being satisfied in self.
No, it's more than satisfied. It's just like when you come, as for men, for example, the after time of or in the moment, just feel that plenitude, what I call quenchness,
Okay.
And that feeling is about the feeling of the end, not of the drive of I want it, I'm lusting on a woman. I'm lusting, no, to quenchness. So we humans, we operate on the two sides of the coin usually, as I understand it now. So I don't really have a message for the new generation or the older generation. It's just about like this life. Many are called, few will answer the call, and few actually will bridge the gates. You go on the gates. Whether you accept it or not, there will be many losers on any matrix that you can have. So you have to realize that, at least me, I'm not talking about everybody because I cannot, in my position, I don't have, I cannot talk to other people, give them advice, but I will just thinking about me. I'm selfish, that's for sure. I'm on my path, I'm on my way. Due to things I lived, I recognize that all this is just ephemeral, just vanity, not in a bad sense, not that I don't like to flex or I don't like flesh. Flesh is spirit, spirit is flesh, just like a light has to be a wave and a body, at the same time. But when you realize that, bro, it's worth it. When you go beyond, not beyond winning, because actually I value winning, but just for a moment, you realize that to win, you have to go beyond winning and losing. So what? I was about to die multiple times in my life. I know what it feels when people say, "Oh, I'm in a death." What do we call it? Death. What? The moment when they're close to dying, whatever. And actually it helped me because people freak out. I'm going to die. I was not. I was stoned, like blooded. Like the only thing I was like, "Oh, I'm going to go out of this earth without doing this." But I was so fucking calm. I was calm like the abyss, the darkness of the abyss, the deep of the ocean. And that's when you realize that it's just a game. It's just a game. The will to win it and all of that is just that make it extra. It's about you.
We're in a simulation. We're in somebody else's metaverse.
I'm not. Maybe we are in a metaverse or in a matrix, but we are in a simulacre. Like Jean, the philosopher Jean Baudrillard, I think I didn't scorch his name, said he wrote a book called Simulacre et Simulation. Simulacre and simulations. Why? Because the simulacre and the simulation just represent the symbol that we give. Like your eyes is a symbol for something. It wasn't really there. I don't know how to explain. Look, for example, the like that we have in Instagram. They symbolize something, or even a road on Earth. When you build a road, it's a symbol. The road itself is a symbol. It's not just something that brings cars. It's a symbol. When you see a road, you think about something. We build that road on top of reality. That was her. That's what we humans do. We build our dreams on top of the reality. That's why I actually empathize with the symbol of the adversary. Because I am a rebel against reality, and I'm going to build my castle against the wall of reality. That's what we do. The road, we put it on earth, that's real. The building, we put it on earth also, that is real. And tomorrow, when another species are going to come out of their limbs, they are going to see this building. To them, it will be part of nature. Look, for example, on Will Smith movie, I Am a Legend. When there's a lion on the city, for them, these buildings are like trees. They don't make a difference. But we build it on top of reality, and they are going to build on top of this building too. That's the simulation. That's the simulacre. So when you realize it, that we are all in a form like what you call maybe a simulation, but it's reality, bro, you become a lord of time. You start to see time for what it is. A construct. A construct. We clock time, we try to put time in a box, but actually that's not how we naturally interpret time. Look at when you are absorbed in your passion or in your work. Time delights itself. It delays. You can feel that it's too long or too short, but when you look at your clock, the time will be paradoxically different. You know, even space, when you run or you do something, you're like, oh, I run. I thought I was just jogging, but I run so fast, or you run slow, but it seems like you're running fast. This is all about perspective, and people don't want to admit that. Physics quantic, actually, you are the Monty of Einstein, via somebody else. Einstein, even he was driven crazy by the idea of quantum physics. He fought it until his deathbed, until he realized that, yeah, quantum physics is real. Your perception of things define your reality. Even though there are parameters in this life that can be called constant. At one time, when you have done enough in this life, you become a constant too. So the legacy is just what people are going to feel, but what people are going to feel is also meaningless to you in a sense. So your legacy actually is yourself. How much you're grounded in yourself. And the more you're grounded in yourself, the more people start to revolve around you, just like you're the sun and people are the planets, until they drift away and maybe disappear or became stars themselves, and other people start to gravitate toward them. But they will know that I came from Sol. Like, that's how the solar system is called. I came from Sol. I got that sun rays in me. Beam that sun rays. Even though I'm a new sun. That's it. That's legacy. Legacy is just reproduction of work. This is, I think, the accurate definition when you understand the deeper part of it. Legacy is just about reproduction.
Yeah.
How many people reproduce your idea? How many people try to wear what Michael Jackson wear? How many people try to dance like Michael Jackson danced, like I did? How many people try to sing like Michael Jackson did? Beyonce never hide the fact that she was truly inspired by Michael Jackson. She carried that legacy. It's reproduction. And there are young artists upcoming, like female or male, that Beyonce is their idol. So they are going to carry what Beyonce gives, but at the same time, they are going to carry the gene of Michael Jackson. This is legacy. Forgotten or not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good, Milo. Thanks for coming by to episode 4 of People, Passion, Purpose. And yeah, we'll sign off for now. Want to thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.